All right, everyone. I have an interesting question to ask about the Dylan Mulvaney Budweiser kerfuffle going on. First, though, of course, the other day the CEO did issue another statement, backpedaling completely and saying, no, Dylan Mulvaney is not the face of Budweiser or anything. One executive decided to send some beer to Dylan Mulvaney, and it was just like a one-off thing. Don't boycott us, bro. And it was really, really funny because, I mean, clearly they're desperate. Their sales week over week, year over year, down more than 20%. As of last week, it was 26. I saw another news story, hadn't even updated. They posted earlier. They're still going with the prior week that shows a 21% point drop. As though that's much different. The loss is accelerating significantly. The boycott is actually working. Which is why they've decided to trot out the loaded term misinfo to label people that are talking about this being significant. I don't know how well this strategy is going to work. What you're doing is antagonizing people more, much like with the Super Bowl ad, the Super Bowl ad, showing a bunch of patriotic, star-spangled bullshit. Can I ask something, though? Can I ask something of the left that's defending Budweiser, and they've decided to put down the Pabst and take up the Bud Light? Why is it that you seem to be so interested in embracing the concept of poisoning people? Because that is what alcohol does. Again, a disproportionately large amount of alcohol is purchased by a disproportionately small proportion of the user base. It's not people that have a couple of beers. It's people that go to the bar after work every single day and get loaded. It's people who drink all day. It's people who have, a whole cellar full of different wines. Those are the main audience for alcohol. It's not, you're going with brand portrayal. You're literally going with corporate propaganda when you're thinking otherwise. Oh yeah, the average drinker is just, I have a couple of beers when they're at the pool, man, with their friends. They're having a couple buds at the barbecue. Ain't that great? It's Americana and shit like that. It's the odd part that the progressives are embracing. That's not the average drinker. The average drinker is the person slowly killing themselves. I realize that is not as a proportion true, but disproportionately so. If we're working with non-funny math, a significant proportion, like 5% of drinkers comprise like half the fucking sales or some insane number like that. It's people that are tipsy all day. And you're supporting that if you're supporting this campaign or any other, by the way, by Budweiser or any other company. I'm still flabbergasted that alcohol brands are allowed to put out campaigns like this at all. The United States banned tobacco companies from doing so, and it wasn't because they were misleading the public. Well, every corporate ad tends to mislead people. It's not about that. The reason why tobacco was targeted and alcohol wasn't was tobacco from the U.S. is a major thing, but a lot of its export market. We sell it we get third worlders addicted to Marlboro, and then we slowly kill them off. Alcohol, though, is domestically very important as far as sales go. And so it's a little bit different. I mean, you don't need ads domestically for tobacco because, you don't want the population to smoke and get lung cancer or something. But for some reason, they don't have a problem with a proportion of the population drinking itself to death. Now, having a couple of beers once in a while is probably not going to kill you. But then they don't talk about the alcoholism side of the equation, now do they? And that's what's left out of these ads. And the woke embracing Dylan Mulvaney, drinking beer in the bathtub and all that shit, okay. It's interesting that alcohol companies, an addictive material, that is considered so dangerous that the age to buy alcohol is, in most states, significantly higher than the age to buy tobacco products, or even cannabis in some cases. Wow. It's interesting that they're allowed to run ads on daytime TV when kids might be watching. Well, Jimmy, you're not allowed to smoke, but, remember, the second you turn 21, the first thing you should do is reach for a Coors Light, or a Miller, or Samuel Adams, always a good decision, or something like that. Get some piss beer, get some Rolling Rock. Just ask Elizabeth Warren. No, we should be asking that fundamental question. I don't see anyone else asking the question. Why is it the people that are progressive and woke and typically like kale smoothie drinkers and into jogging and shit, why are you embracing a multi-billion-dollar corporation, which, by the way, Budweiser is just a sub-brand of a parent company anyway that is far, far more fucking vast, although that is their flagship of flagships, Bud and Bud Light. Why are you promoting the peddling of poison to people, especially by a creator whose core audience, you realize that the TikTok audience is a disproportionate number of them are like the tweens. Some of them are younger than Gen Z. I mean, they really shouldn't be using social media at all, and shame on their parents, but the average age of Dylan Mulvaney's audience is probably too young to vote. So they're too young to drink, but then they have this creator that they're watching, swimming in beer, basically. And while I don't believe in censoring that, I mean, I'm not saying that I have a problem with creators drinking on streams or something like that. I mean, okay, maybe it leads to harm. We don't raise a fuss about them smoking tobacco. I'm sure that YouTube any day now will ban drinking and smoking on streams and shit. But I don't have a problem with that existing. What I'm asking is the ideological construct by which you can promote that product while proclaiming yourself the future, we're progressive and stuff, and by God, you're being a bigot. Well, you're defending a corporation that doesn't really need defending. Again, you've seen a steep drop in the number of Budweiser products being consumed. The parent company owns like half the fucking main beer brands. So I don't think they're going to go out of business because they lose a few $1 billion in booze sales. And those big-time boozers that make up the majority of the sales have just switched to other brands anyway. Miller Lite's doing fine. Coors Light is doing fine. People have decided that they want to keep poisoning themselves and move on to a different piss poison. And that's fine. They are allowed to do so. But, again, you're encouraging that block of people and in fact promoting it indirectly at least by promoting Dylan Mulvaney, I suppose. And the CEO wants to act all righteous about it. Okay, your company is set up around causing domestic violence, basically. That is, again, associated disproportionately with alcohol. If it were a weed company, okay, that's not associated with anything other than the munchies. So, if John Boehner's Cannabis Monopoly Corporation is going to do a Super Bowl ad, that would be just funny. And if they start gobbling up TikTok influencers, and I use that term very, very loosely for them, that would be hilarious to me. Okay, I smoke weed every day, man, 420. I see mushrooms in my eyes, man, I'm blitzed out of my mind. Beer is a little bit different. I mean, I'm just asking, is wokeness killing millions of people every year? Car crashes and shit. It's more deadly than guns. Hey, the leftoids, you're promoting something that kills far more people than firearms in the United States. I thought it was about think of the children. What about the children that get beaten by their alcoholic parents? What about them? Yeah, you don't care about them any more than Biden's trafficked children, unaccompanied minors at the porous and now militarized U.S. border. Stop being a bunch of pussy hypocrites. That's about all. Peace out.